Hello guys and welcome back to Geek Legion of Doom. I'm Lisa from the channel Lisa Lives and I'm here today to review for you new movie Double Blind. Now this is a little thriller sci-fi with like a horror twist with horror elements, which we always like to see. It's also shot in location in Limerick, so Ireland, so again something I'm always very happy to see. Let's get some names out of the way first because God knows we know what my memory's like. This is written by Darach McGarrigle, is directed by Aaran Hunt-Duffy. Just to run you through, it's quite a small cast here, so to run you through most of the names, we have Millie Brady, you may remember from The Last Kingdom, she was Ethelred. We have Pollyanna McIntosh, who, they're the two biggest names. You may know her from The Walking Dead, also in the new Rick and Michonne series, The Ones Who Live. Akshay Kumar, Diarmuid Noynes, Brenna O'Connor, Abby Fitz and Shona Marie. So this is the main cast here. The premise of this movie, to a plot, not to tell you too much because tish, you're best to go in blind. So this movie is about a drug experiment. You may have seen other movies of a similar premise. This follows a group of young students, most of which are a bit skint, a bit broke, and as is the case a lot of the time, they make a little bit of spare money by participating in drugs trials, which is the premise of this movie. We mainly follow Claire as the character and these other 6 individuals who are taking part in a drug trial for a drug. They don't know what it's for, what it's meant to do. They're paid for their participation. But as you can imagine, all does not go very straightforwardly, very well. Things begin to happen, things start to get afoot. Now this is a double blind, to use the title, experiment. Now what that means is neither the participants of that experiment nor the doctor that's there, that is played by Pollyanna McIntosh, they don't know which participants have had the drug and which have just had a placebo. So that's to stop any sort of experimental bias in the experiment. So something does inevitably go wrong. It wouldn't be a horror thriller if it didn't. And the makers of this drug, very desperate to keep this continuing, just advise to up the dosage and to offer the participants a bit more money to stay. So I'm not going to tell you any more about the plot because I think that's all you need to know. So what did I think? Negatives and positives. So I cannot honestly, I like to start with a bad and end on a good note. I cannot give you very much negative about this movie. I have seen a few movies of a similar premise. I did really enjoy this. I find this kind of movie has a tendency to either go too far to the ridiculous, too far sci-fi, or we're too dialogue based. There's not enough happening of a physical nature. Now this movie I feel is a fantastic balance of both. First of all, the set is fantastic. We have a very stark, obviously a hospital type, it's not a hospital, but that kind of stark white, clean, very sort of isolating. I always find it as a type of a scene very, not disturbing, off-putting, unsettling is the word I'm looking for. And it is quite unsettling. You do expect when you're in that kind of environment for things to be just so, and when they're not, you start to feel a little bit uneasy, a little bit unsettled, which is how this starts. It builds tension extremely well. It doesn't hit you with everything all at once. This is not a movie to watch if you want bells and whistles happening immediately, if you have difficulty following dialogue, if you're not interested in character development, if you're someone that gets frustrated because you're not getting a rounded character, or you're just getting a glimpse of a person and we're all about low budget effects or whatever, then you know this is the movie for you. I feel Claire that we follow, we get to know a lot about her, we feel we know her as a character, we empathise with her. She meets different characters. As with any movie, some characters you will really, take to, some you will think he's a bit of a prat, but I feel every actor plays their part very well. They play the type of person they're meant to be playing. I don't feel the characters are very stereotypical. I feel especially in horror you get a lot of, oh well that's the jock, that's the nerd. That, there's a very tick box of the kind of characters that you're going to get. I honestly don't feel that that's the case for this. I feel these characters were pretty unique, were very realistic, were very relatable. The acting I cannot fault. I enjoyed the acting from everyone. I enjoyed the interactions. I felt, as I always say about movies, if I start to feel something, it's working for me. You feel the frustration of certain situations. You feel the anger towards certain character decisions. You're rooting for certain things to happen. You're getting a sense of tension when we have like an exciting scene. What's going to happen? Is it, you know, when you're feeling that the movie's working, I didn't feel there was anything to overlook. I didn't feel, oh, well, that's a bit pants, but I'm enjoying this, so I'll stick with it. Which sometimes can be the case, especially with lower budget movies. With this, I enjoyed everything I watched start to finish. I didn't find myself getting bored at all. As I say, everyone there did a stellar job. I felt all the range of emotions I wanted to feel. Aside from the character development and the acting, which are, to me, on point, I thought they were fantastic. I actually feel that the effects used here, where they're used, are fantastic. They're really good. They're not, even though this movie I don't expect has a massive budget, I don't feel that shows. I feel it stands up there with movies of high budgets. We don't need to sort of like throw everything at it and have effects left, right and centre. There are effects in this for things that happen to the individuals. They're not particularly far-fetched, but the effects that we see, for want of a better word, are very effective. They work very well. They are fitting. You don't feel yourself taken out of it, as is such the case when you watch, especially horrors. And I'm a fan of practical effects, not so much CGI. Sometimes you're watching a horror and you can forgive it, but sometimes there's an effect that's like, oh, that looked really fake, that did not look good. I did not feel that once in this movie. This is definitely more of a sci-fi thriller with horror elements. It's not out and out gory or anything like that, but it had enough for me as a horror fan to keep me really interested, to keep me intrigued, to keep me following. It had enough of character development for me as a real fan of characters and rounded characters and interactions between characters. It had enough of that too. So I think for negatives, I can't give you one, folks. I can't say sitting watching this movie, I felt that this really let it down. I felt that this stood out like a sore thumb. I felt that this effect looked bad. I felt this acting was bad from this person, because I didn't in any of the cases. I really enjoyed it. I felt it evoked the right emotions. It made me feel isolated, uneasy. It made me feel dread. It made me feel fear. It made me feel anger, frustration, a little bit of disgust. It had all those emotions flowing. So negatives, none, guys. Positives, I think I've given you quite a few there. I would thoroughly recommend this movie to you. There have been movies similar, as I've said, but I do feel this movie is a very realistic, very balanced approach to the storyline. It's not OTT stupid. It's not going to make you want to sleep. It's not boring. I do feel that it was spot on, guys. So it gets a big thumbs up from me. If I had to rate this one out of 10, I would go a solid 7.5, 8. Obviously remembering that, you know, your 9s and 10s are reserved for absolute masterpieces. A 7.5, 8 from me is a really good score. So I feel this is a little hidden gem that I hope people get on board with, that I hope people watch. I definitely feel from the horror community people will enjoy this. This is one that people need to be talking about, need to be pushing for others to watch, word of mouth. So yeah, Double Blind for me, big thumbs up, really enjoyed it. Let me know, guys, below in the comments if it sounds like something you would enjoy. Have you seen any other movies of this ilk? What did you feel was missing? Does a more realistic approach sound like something that you would like to see? Let us know your thoughts below in the comments. We always love to speak to you. And until next time, over and out.